tell us a little bit about how is it you're empowering others in your communities and why is it you're doing that?
Why I'm doing that? Because as I told you, I feel that I have a moral duty to give back. Every single one of us, I think that we have a certain type in our life, certain situation in our life where somebody had extended their hand and helped us. So I think that we have that moral duty to just give back and help others. In my situation, I like to help victims of domestic violence or victims of human trafficking. Why do I do that? Because I can relate to a woman. Thank God it hasn't been me, but I don't know if it's going to be me in the future. So when I see these women in their eyes, I see pain, I see afraid, I see fear. So I can relate to them, and as a woman to women, I would like to help them to become a better person. I would like to boost their self-esteem and so they can start believing in themselves. I don't believe that anybody has to be treated like that, so that's how I give back to the community, and that's how I empower.
For me, the power comes to giving them the voice of us. Because most of them, they have so much to say. It's about giving to them the information too, because we suffer a lot of isolation. We're isolated here. When I start my website, I just want to feel that I was not the only one that were thinking this way, that would just share my story. So 7 years of telling stories, and we are weaving all these stories and creating the new face of America and the new face of Ohio. And this new face of Ohio is so diverse, so rich. It's come from Mexico, from Venezuela, from Costa Rica. So the new face of Ohio is so diverse and rich, and we know the stories. So what it makes me to make the difference is please give me the opportunity to share it, because you will empower us with your journey. And that's my role. I just like to empower ourselves with their stories, our story.
And that leads me to remember one of our conversations that Lorena and I had after she interviewed me once about self-esteem in the immigrant woman, and then we were talking about how can we unite our voices together. It sounds like it's very important what she's saying, because sometimes when you feel like you don't have a voice, there is a lot of disempowerment in there. And how can we do something together that we can start hearing the voices and unite those voices of Latino women, and then empower in a way that we start creating circles around and helping each other to navigate the system. And then we start this how would I say it? Community-based program that is called Latinas in Ohio Facing Challenges and Taking Action, and we have been in Cincinnati and Oxford, Dayton, and Columbus, and we continue doing that to empower the voice of these women that sometimes their voices are not here. And going along with that, to me, when I came to the United States and when I came here, I didn't speak that much English, and I started as an adult learning English. That's why my accent is very heavy. And so I feel really disempowered. Because I feel like I know that, I don't know if you have been in another country, that the language is not yours and you don't know how to navigate the system. It's very confusing, and trying to read cues and how you're going to behave and how you're going to navigate the system is really, really, really confusing and traumatic in some sense. So for me, my experience provide me the empathy for others who come and do not speak the language and do not know how to navigate the system, as simple as going and having a telephone or going to the supermarket and knowing what kind of bread they need to eat, simple things that can become big challenges for some people. So for me, helping others navigate the system is a way to empowerment. Helping others to provide their voices is a way to empowerment. And the way that I have approached is not only with the Latino immigrants or Latinos who are already living here, but also with the non-Latinos. So I do workshops and presentations to providers, health providers, or something like that in terms of multicultural issues to make that some sensitive and a learning experience for both. So I approach both populations in a way to empower the voices that are not heard, and to have a better knowledge and how to navigate the system and how to perceive others who are different from us. So empowering is a very important word for me in terms of what I do in my work, and I try to use a strength approach, kind of direction, and then not focusing on the weaknesses but the strength that each person has, and highlight them and tell the person about their strengths. Sometimes they don't know that they have those strengths, or they have forgotten those strengths. So how empower others is by going out, reaching out the community, Latino and non-Latino, in order to start integrating or to have a better understanding from both cultures.
Actually, I couldn't agree more with what they're saying, but it's just a lot of my same feelings and emotions. But I think when you're talking about empowerment, probably a critical role that I have played with many is to help them realize that every aspect of who they are and the story they bring along is important. And that in order to fit in this country, you don't need to deny who you are. And in order to succeed in this country, you don't need to give up your integrity and your values. On the contrary, that is what is going to set you apart. And I think that many times, especially when dealing with women and the subject of empowerment, it just seems so foreign to them. What does that mean for me? And we have to realize that the women that we are serving throughout our state come from the extremely successful, highly intellectual women, very successful in business, to the very humble woman that is sitting at home not even knowing how to go to the grocery store. Yet, in that huge spectrum, if only one of us can be strong enough and sincere enough to reach out to those women and say, you know, who you are and your journey is important, and is going to be a determinant factor of what success looks like for you. And I think sometimes we fail in the sense of saying, you know, empowerment is this, empowerment is that. Empowerment is different things to different people. And as long as you're moving forward, then you are creating that storyline that Lorena talks often about, and you are creating that sense of identity and worth and value that Deifilia is telling us about. And then you're talking, you know, when Erendira talks about engaging and finding your voice. All of this is different with different people, and it is all very, very valuable. I am the result of my stories. And most important, I am the result of my struggles and how I responded to those struggles. And the question to each one of us is, what use are you going to make out of that experience? In my personal case, I have chosen to use my struggles and my opportunities and my experiences as a storyline, as a movie film, as a story that people can relate to, and to open up myself to try to understand and take people where they are and walk with them where they are and help them achieve just one little tiny fraction of success, because success breeds success. And how do I empower others, and why is this important to me? I want people to believe in self-reliance, and I want people to have faith in themselves and to realize that just about anything they want to do, they can do if they put their mind to it. And I'm a strong believer in possibility, and most importantly, I believe in modeling for others and reminding me and all my friends often that, you know, a lot of these young girls and women have no one to look up to. So we have a huge responsibility on our shoulders.